talk about the M4A1 in Battlebit Remastered, because I feel like the weapons that always get all the videos and the discussion are the ones that are the middle to higher level weapons, but nobody talks about the level 0 weapons. And this weapon, as a level 0 weapon, competes with some of the best assault rifles in the game, and I'm going to tell you why in this video. Now, if you'll recall, when I did a tier list video, I made the M4A1 an S tier weapon, and the reason I did that, it was not necessarily because I think it's the best weapon in the game, but because it's a level 0 unlock, and its usability is so high. I think that this weapon, you can use it from level 0 all the way up to when you unlock something that is very good, like an AK-5C, a P90, an MP5, a P90, somewhere in there. You can use this weapon all the way up to there and more if you want. This weapon has a lot of usage, and it's basically what you expect out of an M4 in any video game. It's really good at everything. It's not exactly the best at anything, but it's not bad at anything. It's just all around solid and reliable. Before I show you some actual like in-game game footage with this thing, I'm going to take you to the shooting range so we can show you this thing and compare it against some of the other assault rifles. So when you first use the M4, you'll say, okay, this thing does have a little bit of recoil. As you can see, I have 213 kills with it. I don't exactly have a lot of kills with this weapon because I just started using it, if I'm going to be completely honest. But I've used it in like 3 or 4 different matches so far, and what I've seen of it is it's a beast. Now, when you first use it though, like I said, you're going to notice it does have a little bit of recoil. If you slap the vertical grip on this thing with the tactical barrel, the recoil becomes pretty controllable and pretty manageable. Like, this is the base recoil. You get a little horizontal shake with it, but it's pretty much straight vertical. And if you control it, it looks like that. Pretty decent. Not bad at all. That means this thing, you know, for close range engagements, it's pretty good. And for those, you know, 80-something meter engagements, it's also going to be really good as well. You'll start to notice it's a little shaky around like the 100-meter mark in terms of the aim and accuracy, but really in Battlebit, if you're spraying an assault rifle from 100 meters or more, you're doing something wrong. Usually you're tap firing or burst firing from that range, or you're using a different weapon. But as you can see, I mean, I'm like 130-something meters away, and I'm hitting most of my shots with it. So it does have a use case for that. Let's go through the stats of it now. And these are just the in-game stats. I'm not going to give you like the super advanced statistics with the weapon. So you'll notice 30 damage. That's pretty solid if you have a decent fire rate, which it has a 700 fire rate. It has a 700 bullet velocity, 74.73 accuracy. The reload speed's a little bit but I mean, assault rifles in this game for the most part have pretty long reload speeds. And you compare that against some of the other weapons in its own class, like the SG550, which is widely considered an A tier weapon by most people, although most people won't put it S tier. It does have good range, and a lot of people do put it S tier for that reason, but I put it A tier. Look at this thing. It has 27 damage at the same fire rate at a slower bullet velocity as the M4. Yes, it has lower recoil, but it has muzzle flash and all those things as well. You look at the ACR, level 110 unlock, 27 damage, same fire rate, 700. You look at the bullet velocity, 650. So the M4 has a higher bullet velocity, it has higher damage, and the same fire rate as some of the higher level assault rifles in the game. Yes, it has a little bit more per shot kick, it has a slower reload time, and it has a little bit more recoil than some of these weapons. But those are all things you can look past if you use the assault class to get a boost in your reload speed, and if you are good at just controlling straight up vertical recoil. And yes, the SG also has more range than the M4. You'll notice the M4's range starts to fall off after the 100-meter mark or so. But like I said, if you're spraying past 100 meters in this game, generally speaking, you're doing something wrong with an assault rifle. All right, so let's get into its use case, right? So I like my assault rifles to be good at pretty much everything. I like them to have a lot of use cases. You can use this thing close range. That's actually kind of where it excels the most. Yes, you will get slapped by MP7s, P90s, and MP5s, but that's any assault rifle in Battlebit Remastered. If you can use this thing at mid-range, and mid to long range, like 75 to 100 meters, I would say it's a sweet spot with this thing. Maybe 50 to 100 meters, it's a sweet spot with this thing, because a lot of SMGs start falling off after 50 meters. So I would say like 50 to 100 meters is when you're going to notice this thing outperforms most weapons in the game, because you'll have decent accuracy still at that range. Plus, you will have the benefit of outgunning and outdamaging SMGs as they are falling off from the 50 to 100 meter range. The 30 to 50 meter range is kind of workable with this thing, because, you know, some SMGs do fall off after like 20, 30 meters, but most of them don't. So you will notice still you're going to get outgunned by MP5s and that sort of thing from like below 50 meters. But really beyond 100 meters, you're going to get outgunned by LMGs, you're going to get outgunned by snipers, you're going to get outgunned by SG550s, maybe even an AUG A3 if somebody's spraying that thing. But if you get all the attachments for this thing, I would say the range does increase to like 125-ish meters, 130 meters for it. And so I just think it has a lot of usability. Like, you're talking about a weapon that is a level 0 unlock. And again, I'm not by any means stating this is the best weapon in the game or it's the best assault rifle in the game even, but you're talking about a level 0 unlock. And for a level 0 unlock to have better stats than most of the assault rifles in this game is kind of insane. And that's why I rated it S tier in that one video. And that's why I say it's a very strong gun. And through the rest of the video, I'm going to show you some clips of me using this thing, me explaining some things about the weapon as I figure them out, and I'm going to show you exactly the use cases for this weapon. Alright, let's test the range of this thing then. Okay, so, you know, obviously when you have the high ground, it kind of seems like a freaking bejeem. Okay, not bad. It's just straight vertical. It's not that bad. You just have to kind of like burst fire at over 100 meters, but 100 meters in, you can pretty much spray it and just control it. It's a straight vertical pattern, nothing too difficult. I'm just saying because this thing kind of feels like you have to use it more like an SMG, right? That's what it kind of feels like. From that like 75 meters in, you're using this thing. And then from 75 meters out, you're using like an AK-15, an SG, an AUG, A3, a DMR, a sniper, like an MP5 even, a PP19. I might just die here. I'm trying to test this thing's range. Like, it's pretty effective there. Pretty effective there. And so as you can see, the M4A1 is extremely strong in Battlebit Remastered, specifically for low-level players. I would recommend this gun. You can use this thing all the way until you unlock like the SG550 or even something better like the P90 or something like that, MP5. But, you know, if you want to use an MP7, a PP19, if you want to use SMGs as well, you can do that. If you want to use the AK-15, you can do that as well. But if you're not comfortable with the recoil level on the AK-15 and you still want to use an assault rifle, there's no reason not to use the M4A1 pretty much. It's very solid, very good, and you will beam with it once you unlock all the attachments. So I would recommend this weapon. Again, I'm not saying it's the best one in the game. As I said, pretty much almost every SMG will outperform any assault rifle at mid-range to in this game. But if you're looking to fiddle around with assault rifles, pick this thing up. You'll enjoy it. And again, I use the tactical barrel with the vertical grip for this thing, and that tends to reduce the recoil quite a bit. And then I also use a small red dot sight on it. You can run this thing with the assault class, so you get the reload buff to negate the 4-second reload, because that is one of the weak points of this weapon, as I mentioned earlier in the video. So you can run it with the assault class, so you get that, and you also get the faster ADS if you use a 1x optic. So you can run it with the assault class. You can also run it with the medic class as well if you want those heals. It's really up to you. But as I said, very solid weapon, and I love it. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more BattleBit content, make sure you subscribe to the page, and I'll see you next video.